The upcoming episode of Mystery at Blind Frog Ranch, titled Death Trap, promises to be an exciting adventure filled with unexpected twists. Chad and Eric, the main characters, are set to face a major challenge as they attempt to breach the void in the South Cave. This mission is crucial, but it comes with risks that could lead to disaster. The tension is sure to rise as the duo navigates the dangers lurking within the cave. As the episode unfolds, a mysterious rumbling shakes the entire ranch, adding to the suspense. This unsettling event raises questions about what might be causing the disturbance and how it will affect Chad and Eric's mission. The viewers will likely feel the intensity of the situation as the characters confront the unknown. Meanwhile, James makes an intriguing discovery at the bead site. He finds evidence suggesting the presence of the Aztecs, which could lead to significant revelations about the history of the area. This discovery may connect to the larger mysteries surrounding Blind Frog Ranch, adding depth to the storyline. Overall, Death Trap is set to deliver a thrilling mix of adventure, mystery, and historical intrigue. Fans of the show can look forward to a gripping episode that keeps them on the edge of their seats. There are some places on Earth where the land just seems different, and Blind Frog Ranch in eastern Utah is one of those places. Locals say the land is cursed and holding on to treasures. Landowner Dwayne Ollinger is determined to find what is hidden in the 7 underground caves on the 160-acre ranch. Dwayne has sunk everything he has into hunting for what he believes is a vast fortune of gold on his property. However, as he gets closer to finding the treasure, the land seems to hold on tighter, stopping him in his tracks. The Utah desert lay silent beneath a thick curtain of cold morning mist. Beneath that mist, something ancient stirred, or so the men at Blind Frog Ranch believed. The air was heavier than usual, damp with the kind of pressure that presses against the skin like a warning. The crew had seen strange things over the past 3 seasons, but what unfolded in episode 3 of this 4th season made even the skeptics retreat. Dwayne Ollinger, eyes sharper than usual, surveyed the canyon floor from the newly installed surveillance tower. Below, a trench sliced across the terrain like a scar. It was meant to be a path toward a rumored hidden chamber, but lately it had become something else. Something darker. Weeks earlier, while excavating near the cavern entrance, a hydraulic drill bit shattered not against rock, but something metallic. The entire rig had seized, the drill screeching like it had bit into bone. When pulled back, the bit showed no sign of damage. It was like the metal had never been there. But cameras caught a flash, a strange shimmer, just before the contact. That footage had been reviewed dozens of times, but it raised more questions than answers. Now, Dwayne and his team were taking no chances. Thermal drones patrolled the air above the site, motion sensors lined the edges of the excavation zone, and even a geophysicist had been called in to survey the strange magnetic disturbances increasingly reported near what the crew dubbed the anomaly chamber. This episode, though, would revolve around something far more visceral, a trap that almost cost them one of their own. Early in the day, Chad Ollinger and Charlie Snyder had entered the trench to reinforce the support beams. The walls, always unstable, had shifted overnight. Some said it was erosion. Others whispered about sabotage. Regardless, protocol dictated a safety check before any further digging. But what happened next shattered that protocol, and very nearly shattered a man. Without warning, the floor beneath Chad's position caved. Not into a normal sinkhole, but a perfectly circular void. The cameras mounted to Chad's helmet captured the entire descent, a rapid, dizzying drop into pitch black. The footage revealed sharp metal rods protruding from the walls as he fell, spaced evenly in a spiral, like the inside of a massive screw. Several punctured his gear. One nearly impaled his shoulder. Above ground, alarms screamed. The crew scrambled. Duane radioed everyone to freeze operations. Within seconds, emergency rigs were deployed, a winch lowered, and sensors dropped to measure gas levels. The trench was now a known hazard. But the most chilling discovery came as they analyzed the data. The spiral shaft hadn't been on any previous scans. Not even the most advanced LiDAR imaging revealed its existence. More disturbing, the interior reflected no signal back. It was as if the structure consumed radio waves. This would be impossible with natural materials. The geophysicist, Dr. Eileen Ross, who had worked on seismic mapping of the region, said only one word when she reviewed the data: synthetic. Chad was rescued, intact. Shaken but the rod that pierced his gear had missed vital organs by millimeters. His helmet, however, was split clean in half. Whatever he hit was sharper than steel. That night, the crew gathered to review the footage. As they slowed down the helmet cam, frame by frame, something strange appeared. Just before the fall, the soil beneath Chad vibrated, not crumbled, vibrated, then liquefied. It was as if the earth had been programmed to give way. Beneath it, the spiral shaft glinted, artificial, complex, and seemingly ancient. Further into the footage, while Chad tumbled in darkness, several frames showed a faint, pulsing glow deep in the shaft. It was rhythmic, like a beacon. Yet, by the time rescue teams arrived, the light was gone. They sent down a drone, but it malfunctioned within seconds, crashing into the wall as its navigation scrambled. The team retrieved it, but the onboard storage had been wiped. The hardware had melted in places, as if exposed to intense electromagnetic heat. Duane made the call to halt all trench exploration until further analysis. But the land had other plans. The next day, just before sunrise, the sensors detected movement near the collapsed shaft. A small tremor registered, followed by another. The trench had shifted again. This time, a section of the wall crumbled to reveal a new tunnel, narrow and lined with stones cut in geometric precision, far too advanced for the native tribes known to have inhabited the region. It led down into the mountain, deep beneath the previously mapped cavern network. They dubbed it the Passage. Cameras sent in revealed walls inlaid with a black, mirror-like material, similar to obsidian, but magnetically charged. The cameras began to glitch the farther they went. When they reached the 75-foot mark, all visual feeds went dark, but the audio kept streaming. For 11 minutes, the microphones picked up what sounded like wind, yet no air was moving in the tunnel. Then came a low tone, fluctuating in frequency, like a coded signal. Morse experts brought in later found no recognizable pattern. Then, the sound stopped. In the days that followed, several crew members reported strange symptoms: migraines, nosebleeds, and disorientation. One crewman collapsed while reviewing thermal footage near the site. The medical examiner found no cause, just a sudden drop in blood pressure and a spike in cortisol levels. He awoke hours later with no memory of the event. The producers pushed for continued exploration, but the crew was split. Some believed they had discovered a long-buried technology, possibly of non-human origin. Others feared they had disturbed something sacred. One Navajo elder, invited to consult, refused to enter the property, stating the site had been marked long ago by his ancestors. He left a warning carved into sandstone near the edge of the ranch: that which waits below feeds on what falls. Episode 3 ended with a cliffhanger. Duane stood at the edge of the passage, staring into the darkness. Behind him, floodlights flickered. The ground trembled again, just slightly. enough to remind everyone watching that the land was alive. Not metaphorically. Literally. Something under Blind Frog Ranch was watching. Waiting. That final frame of the episode. The camera zooming slowly into the tunnel, capturing a faint glimmer moving deep within. Unsettled even longtime viewers. Was it light? Ice? A reflection? The mystery had moved beyond gold, beyond Aztec lore, beyond lost civilizations. This was different. A death trap by design. Constructed for a purpose no one yet understood. Post-episode insights fans of Blind Frog Ranch immediately flooded online forums with theories. Some claimed the spiral shaft resembled ancient booby traps found in Mesoamerican temples. Others insisted it was evidence of pre-flood technology, something aligned with the fringe theory of the antediluvian machine complex. UFO enthusiasts pointed to the electromagnetic anomalies, citing similarities to crash site patterns. Skeptics, however, called it clever editing and dramatization. Yet even they struggled to explain the footage failures and physical injuries. Travel Channel's social media teased next week's installment with cryptic images, a redacted scan of the shaft, a silhouette in the tunnel, and a sonar map that appeared to show a massive chamber far beneath the newly revealed passage.